now, broadcasting from deep behind enemy lines in the occupied territory of the Socialist Republic of California, your host, former California State Assemblyman and Governor candidate, Tim Donnelly.
We're back. I know many of you may be aware that we had our second live remote yesterday in Thousand Oaks. It seems so long ago and so far away. But the Noskinator and I pulled up stakes, headed out there, and did the show from live from a table in the middle of the lobby of a movie theater in Thousand Oaks.
Sure did.
That's pretty crazy, huh?
It was.
And it was kind of cool because we got to meet Tim Donnelly Show listeners from all over the greater Los Angeles basin. Many of you stopped by and said hello. And then we attended a screening of a movie that called Trace Amounts. And if you haven't seen it, you definitely want to check it out. It will transform your view of our government.
Completely.
And if you ever had any trust whatsoever in our government, you will be cured. So we are back here in the Radio Free California Network studios, and I'm sorry, it's Friday. If you thought you were going to get anywhere on the freeway today, forget about that. But poor Morrissey, he was headed through the San Francisco airport, trying to get through TSA on to board a British Airways flight. And he claims that he was sexually assaulted by a TSA agent. And I don't know. I mean, there are people saying that he made it up, but why would a guy like that make that up? Who would want that kind of attention? Let me read you a little bit of the story. It's just to me, it's just another day with the TSA. Did that rhyme?
It totally rhymed.
I wasn't intending for it to rhyme. I was trying to be very, very serious here. But nuts! Why is this thing not coming up? See, I'm trying to be green, and the more green I get, the harder it is to actually find the stories that I was just looking at. But I will do that. Oh, did you print it out? No, that is not it. Well, I'm just going to improvise. He was grabbed in the groin area. We're going to clean it up. It's 3:00 hour. Parents may be driving home with their youngins. So look, he got grabbed in the crotch area. And evidently the TSA agent who was doing it, when he saw an older supervisor coming over, he immediately stopped. There were two British Airways personnel, pilot and I believe co-pilot or something, who also witnessed it and told him he ought to report it. And he said, report it to whom? Because in the end, it's just going to wind up being you report to the authorities, and then nothing happens. I don't know. I am curious because many of you would know that I had my own incident. I've had many incidents with TSA because I find it offensive that the government has the right to violate your Fourth Amendment rights, even though you did nothing wrong. There's no reason to suspect you except that you're a traveler. And this is the legacy of our post 9/11 world. The terrorists won, and freedom got zero. And it's every day. And if you travel a lot, it's a nonstop violation of your basic civil rights. I mean, have you ever gone through TSA and had any issues?
Personally, myself, no. But I definitely have seen them be selective with who they put through the scanners. I mean, they say it's supposed to be random and all that stuff, but I don't agree. I'm very observant of things, when I go, and I like paying attention to that type of stuff, and I've seen.
I always fly the bird. Sorry, that's just my own personal protest. And I had one agent who got all upset about it. Agent, what am I saying? One glorified agent. They're not law enforcement. They're just pencil pushers who push buttons and look at screens. They can't actually use any discretion like a police officer could, or an FBI agent or something else who's been trained in law enforcement. But this one fellow, he was all upset that I would fly the birds. I was flying them. You know what? It's my right. You're going to take a picture of me in some scanning machine. Yeah, you can see me flipping you off. And you know what? I really don't care what anyone thinks about it, because that is my First Amendment right. And that is my protest against a government that has continually, intentionally institutionalized the infringement of our rights. All in the name of safety and security, but Benjamin Franklin warned us about that.
Was this part of the Homeland Security?
It is. The Homeland Security Department was created, and TSA is a branch of the Homeland Security Department. And by the way, just in case you're wondering what Homeland Security means, well, Homeland Security is really focused on terrorism here in the homeland. So they're spying on you. They just built a new facility out in the San Fernando Valley. They're supposed to be securing the border. I'm sorry, I can't help but laugh, because that's the only thing they don't do. They absolutely are utterly 100% committed to making certain that we do not secure the border physically, virtually, or otherwise. There is no operational control at your border, thanks to Homeland Security. They've politicized the Border Patrol. They've politicized the law enforcement mission of the Border Patrol to apprehend aliens who are crossing without the right to cross at places other than checkpoints. But they have no problem commissioning studies. They spent I think it was $7 or $20 million on commissioning a study to determine who the greatest terrorist threats are. And they figured it out. The first one is the Noskinator. As a returning veteran, hey, your government considers you a threat.
Oh, I know. And since I deployed through NSA, I'm sure I'm double a threat.
Oh yeah, and then of course me, I'm sort of I'm not a returning veteran, but I sort of belong to all the other groups. I'm against abortion. I am a member of a Patriot or a Tea Party group, and I love liberty too much.
Well,
so,
and you have a radio talk show informing other people of
their tyranny.
What they don't want everybody to know.
There you go. So basically, between the two of us, we fit all four classifications, and maybe you find yourself in one. I never thought it was the government's business whether I support or oppose abortion. I thought that was my own personal right to believe as I see fit. And who couldn't? I mean, I'm still curious if we'll ever get anyone to call in. We are going to be talking about this Planned Parenthood nightmare that continues.
4 videos now.
Yeah. No, we're going to go into that video. We're going to talk about a judge's ruling. They're trying to cover it up, and they're having the help of the media. And the media is saying they're putting out press releases that they hired a Democrat PR firm called Knickerbocker, of all things, and their plea is, don't cover the scandal, don't cover it, don't give it any credence. And it's like they're not denying it. That's the interesting part. They can't deny what's coming out of the mouths. You can do a whole lot of things with a camera, right? But you can't literally force somebody to say something unless you put a gun to their head or you pay them or something. But all they did is capture what people are saying. And this is didn't you try to go on Planned Parenthood's website?
Yeah, actually, I went today. I was just researching a couple more of the topics, and the PlannedParenthood.org website is down. It says unavailable due to scheduled maintenance or something like that.
Wow.
I mean, who maintenance Friday during the day? Not sure.
That's a really, really interesting timing on that. Anyway, we're going to get into that, and we're going to have a follow-up to the San Luis Obispo story where a 12-year-old girl was raped by the individual that she was turned over to by Child Protective Services, and there's a whole new wrinkle in the story, including threats to throw the publisher of the Cal Coast News in jail. You definitely don't want to miss that. That'll be coming up a little bit later on the show. But we're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back with a whole lot more here on the Tim Donnelly Show. And make sure, whatever you do, you don't touch that dial. Defending the fundamental freedom of parents to make informed decisions for their own children is a basic human right that should never be infringed. But it was. California's SB 277 denies children access to education and takes away a parent's right to choose. You don't have to be a parent to help, but only you can make a difference. Let's exercise the people's veto and overturn SB 277. To volunteer or donate, go to SB277referendum.com. That's SB277referendum.com. Do it now. Paid for by SB 277 Referendum Committee, FPPC ID number 1378398. Hey, welcome back to the Radio Free California Network with your host, former California State Assemblyman and gubernatorial candidate Tim Donnelly. And we are going to go straight to the phones because we have a friend of the Tim Donnelly Show, Breitbart columnist, really should call her investigative journalist, Michelle Moons. Michelle, welcome to the show.
Hi, Tim. How's it going?
It's going fantastic. I mean, you know what? It's Friday. It's summer, right? I don't need to go anywhere on the 15 freeway, so...
That means it's good.
That's a good thing. Hey, I mean, obviously, everybody's talking about this Planned Parenthood story, but
Sure.
My producer, Bethany Nosko, the Noskinator, tried to go on Planned Parenthood's website. Did you know their website's down?
Yeah, well, they're talking about whether it's a stunt. So, you know, at this point, information's still sparse. But, yeah, I think they're saying that they've just had so much traffic that it's the website's down and they've been hacked and all of this. But, you know, it sounds like kind of a PR stunt to me.
Yeah, they're trying to get sympathy, but... I mean, I think they just don't want to get the thousands and hundreds of thousands of angry emails because, look,
Sure.
Planned Parenthood is funded by tax dollars. Half a billion dollars
Yep.
of your and my tax money goes to fund this factory where they chop up aborted children
Ugh.
and they chop them up into little pieces and they sell them. And they can deny...
Unbelievable.
They can talk about camera angles, right? They can talk about anything they want, but nobody put those words in those individuals' mouths, and those individuals have been verified to work at Planned Parenthood. So they're basically just trying to put out a fire.
Well, if you watch these videos, I mean, it is just... It makes you feel ill looking at, especially... the one from yesterday morning I was watching, and I just couldn't. I mean, I think it's important that people are now actually seeing what's going on. When you see them talking about it's a boy, it's another boy, and showing you them sifting through parts of babies, it really brings it to life for people. I don't mean that as a pun. But really, I mean, for people to see it, and it's like, it's been, when you don't see it, people can ignore it. It's not right in front of your face all the time, but this really brings out to light what's going on behind the scenes. And people can't say that it's some sort of hoax anymore. It's some sort of lie. It's their own words.
Yeah. Yeah, but the mainstream media has largely blocked this story out because a lion died.
Sure. You're right. No, and here's the thing. I'm looking at this and I'm going, how long did it take for public outcry to make it so that this guy's practice is shut down, this guy's dental practice is shut down, no matter what you think about the lion deal?
Right.
No matter what you think about that, they've got this guy's practice shut down. Why isn't Planned Parenthood shut down? Like, why?
Not only should they be shut down, but they
without defunding.
Exactly. People should be going to jail right now. I mean, it's illegal to traffic in.
It is illegal. Yes.
It's illegal. So right there, the government is funding an illegal operation, whether they acknowledge it or not. I'm sure they'll come up with some excuse, but this is the most outrageous thing that I have ever witnessed in my life, just politically, and then to see the media completely ignore it because they're completely 100% in favor of this activity, evidently.
It's atrocious. I mean, really, just see the contrast between the lion deal. Again, no matter what you think about the lion deal, we're still getting information on that. That's not the point. The point is, public outcry managed to shut down this guy's dental practice within, what was it, a day or something?
I don't even think it was 24 hours.
And we get no action on anything else. It's, oh, well, we have to look into it, yada, yada. It's like, we don't even have all the details in the other story either.
Well, there is some action here in California because a judge wants to restrict these videos from being released. Tell us about that.
Yes, right. So a judge has said that they're going to restrict anything that has to do with STEM Express, which is the intermediary company. It's not actually Planned Parenthood. It's the Planned Parenthood videos, yes, but there's the guy that is the spokesperson for the CMP, this organization that's putting out the videos, is saying it really is only going to restrict them probably from about one of their videos that he was saying the other day, the Center for Medical Progress. So that's all right. So that's that. But no doubt that they're going to be pushing to restrict all of them, which is why they're still coming out with more, because Planned Parenthood hasn't gotten the same injunction yet, but no doubt they're trying. So STEM Express, the intermediary company that deals with Planned Parenthood, has come up with this court action so that they're going to prevent their executives from being implicated, basically, or having bad PR.
There is no faster way to get people to watch a video than to ban it. Like, it's not going to get out there into the blogosphere and the ethersphere, and who knows, it might actually get on YouTube. But on YouTube, I'm sure they can control it because, YouTube will listen to a judge's court order.
YouTube could take it down.
Right.
YouTube could take it down.
Yeah, so they would take it down, but that doesn't mean that it won't get everywhere else. People make copies.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to get out there.
Sure.
And it should. I mean, we've been putting a call out on this show for anyone who happens to be or identify themselves as pro-choice. I'm asking for them to call in outraged over the horrific revelations about what Planned Parenthood is really doing after the abortion. And so far, we haven't gotten a single call, and not from them, but we've gotten a lot of very interesting calls from people and listened to some very emotional individuals or individuals get emotional talking about the fact that they might have had an abortion at a young age and the effect it's had on their life. Hey, Michelle, can we hold you over?
Sure.
Okay. More with Michelle Moons, Breitbart investigative journalist, when we get back. If you've been listening long to the Tim Donnelly Show, you know that we talk constantly about defending freedom and about defending our natural inalienable rights. The Firearms Policy Coalition is a partner of the Tim Donnelly Show. But more than that, they're on the front lines every day in Sacramento and all across the state, in the courts, defending your Second Amendment right, that is a natural right that the government merely acknowledged in the Second Amendment. If you value your freedom, then you need to join Firearms Policy Coalition. Become a member. I'm a member, and I'm happy to support an organization that is doing such an incredible job. Go to joinfpc.org. The Tim Donnelly Show sent you. Or go to timdonnellyshow.com and click on the FPC link to make it easy. But whatever you do, join today. FPC.org. You are tuned to the Radio Free California Network, and this is the Tim Donnelly Show. We're talking with Breitbart investigative journalist Michelle Moons. And Michelle, have you ever seen any issue like this that has blown up this fast and gotten this much attention and yet is completely ignored by the media?
I would say there have been things that the government was not so forthcoming on. I mean, we've had plenty of scandals that we haven't seen action on. You take something like a Benghazi or Fast and Furious or issues like that where we don't see a lot of action happen. We know something's wrong, but and we have testimonies and we just don't see. We see a slow government move on it, if anything, and then the mainstream media ignores a lot of these things until we start seeing more information come out to where you can't ignore it. The left has this pattern. It's ignore, deny, delay, and they don't want to talk about things that come up. You know, border issues, for example. It took photos going out on the internet and going viral that people actually were able to see what was happening. But until then, it had been duplicating every year for 3 years, but nobody knew it was happening. The individuals coming through the southern border. So now we see with Planned Parenthood, we see the videos. I mean, you have video evidence, and they keep coming out with these videos. There's not just one, not just two, or up to 4 videos out there.
I've heard there could be as many as 10.
I believe there are more. I have heard that there are more, but that there is quite the effort to try to keep them from coming out. Like we've talked about, Sam Express going and getting a court order to not release anything that has to do with them. But thankfully, they're still able to release ones that deal just with Planned Parenthood or their organization. So I think you're going to see more. And hopefully, as there continues to be, well, like you said, you know, ban a video, and what's the first thing that's going to happen? People are going to go, oh, ban video. I'm going to go check that out.
Yeah,
Why are they banning it? But really, the sports one, showing that in the lab just brings it home so much. There is no ignoring when you see somebody taking tweezers and picking through these remains. It's not okay. It's not okay, and illegal. The trafficking and the doing this for profit. They're trying to say that they're not doing it for profit. I don't buy it. And then there are reports now that Planned Parenthood officials are getting bonuses based off of these the volume of abortions that they're
let me throw
doing.
Let me throw a crazy idea out there. Because I think the vast majority of people that I've talked to a number of people who identify themselves as pro-choice. And they wanted to talk about abortion with me, which, is not, most people don't talk about it if they don't agree. And the more and more we talked and sort of listened to each other, we didn't argue. We're friends. And we became friends based on another issue. So as we were talking, the more and more I discovered that my friend is not pro-abortion. And she would never have one. And I thought that was kind of an interesting conundrum. She was sort of horrified by it. And I wonder how many people might think they're pro-choice, quote unquote, or in favor of abortion being legal, who when they see, if you have a business and your business is to produce something out of wood, furniture or whatever, any wood product where you're going to wind up producing a lot of waste. Well, in this day and age, you want to take the waste product and turn it into something, right? Are we so callous that we just see this as an industry and not as literally the remains of human beings that had they exited the womb, in many cases, very likely would have been alive on the outside. And are we going to have another discussion about this? Do you think this is going to move the needle on how people feel about abortion? I mean, I'm curious. I haven't seen any polling on it yet. Maybe it's too early, but it certainly is. I would be surprised if it has no effect.
I would as well. I think you've seen a shifting in the winds of what people's opinion is on this issue. And possibly with the increased technology to be able to see and what's going on in the womb, how early there's, these little facial features and fingers and toes. And the other thing I'd like to touch on is, we at Breitbart had a piece from Sarah Palin the other day comparing the whole discussion, because we were talking about the lion issue. Well, what about the Confederate flag issue? Again, no matter what you think about that, what killed, I believe the number was 90,000 black babies last year. Which one of these things, that flag or Planned Parenthood? Because they put these places in underprivileged neighborhoods, in minority neighborhoods, and the founder of this organization was a eugenicist.
Yes, Dr. Margaret Sanger was a flat-out racist who wanted to wipe the black race off the face of the earth.
So why do we put up with this? We are outraged about a flag. We're outraged about a lion. We're not outraged at.
Let me posit an idea. Maybe they use the Confederate flag symbol to point the finger over there, so everybody's looking over there instead of really seeing what's happening. And I don't know where the leaders are in the black community who are trying to kick Planned Parenthood out of their communities. And I think that's something else that needs to happen.
Should be the case.
Because it's such an affront to human dignity to literally have the founder say, we want to wipe the black race off the earth. Let's set up these clinics. You can easily see a comparison to other genocides and holocausts, because it is an intentional, planned. Wow, they even put it right in the name. It's not Planned Parenthood. It's planned apartheid.
It's planned, like, racial cleansing. I mean, it's just so wrong. And the fact that it's been hidden away, like it's not happening, not that, like there's not these illegal deals of selling of tissue, but they've convinced in the schools for so long, they've taught this is tissue, this is and calling it a fetus instead of a baby, changing our language so that it sounds like this is not a baby, it's a baby. It is a child.
Well, I know.
And many of them, like you said, could live outside of the womb.
Oh, yeah. For anyone out there who's had a child knows the first time you see your child on a sonogram, you see the little hands and fingers and the heart beating. There is nothing on the planet like that moment when you realize that God has entrusted you with a life. And, you would do everything you could to protect it, including giving your own.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't have children of my own, but that is 100%, I'm sure, true. I mean, you can speak to that. You have children. You know what that's like to sit there and look at that monitor and listen to a heartbeat and know that it's a child. But the left has gotten into schools and redefined what you call a child in the womb, a preborn child. And so they've convinced people, they've seared people's consciences to think that all it is tissue. But I tell you that even people that have been convinced of that, you hear these testimonies of people that have worked in these places, and they go, well, I had no idea what was going to happen, but that people were traumatized, that they were pro-choice going into working in one of these places, and that they're traumatized by what they see, or they're desensitized over time. And you see these quote-unquote medical professionals like picking through this stuff and these baby parts, and you just go, you have to have seared your conscience along the way through medical school. I believe it was an individual from this Center for Medical Progress that came out and said, I wish that people could see, that people saw where the woman in one of the videos that talks about how she got into this business and that she originally wanted to be like a natal care nurse or something of that sort, that she likes babies. And you go, how do you get from that? But in these universities, in these schools, they're searing consciences of people. They're convincing them that this is not a child. And I think we've got a big problem there, is that we're allowing that to be taught. And it's now affecting how people see what a child, what this child in the womb is. Michelle
Moons, columnist, investigative journalist, Breitbart.com. Thank you for coming on with us today.
Thanks so much, Tim.
Good talking to you.
And I hope that you keep talking about the issue.
Really. We certainly will, and I think it is going to ultimately be a test of our society and whether or not we value.
What we do with this. Will it disappear from the headline?
Yeah.
Or not?
Yeah, absolutely. Have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you another time.
You too, Tim.
Thanks.
Thanks.
We will be taking a short time out, and we will be right back with a lot more of the Tim Donnelly Show, including your calls. 323-746-TALK if you've got an opinion. Of course you have one. Everyone does. Hey, if you find yourself in my hometown of Twin Peaks, don't leave without stopping by the grill at the Antlers Inn. It's right in the heart of Twin Peaks. They serve dinner every night. They're right there at Highway 189 and Bear Springs Road. They have the best steaks, the best sushi. No matter what you have, make sure you call ahead for a reservation. 909-336-2600. 909-336-2600. And tell them Tim Donnelly sent you. We're going to have a follow-up to the San Luis Obispo CPS story, the one we covered earlier in the week with my friend Karen Veely, the publisher of Cal Coast News, who, by the way, has been threatened with incarceration by the county who runs the organization that she's exposing. Surprise, surprise. But switching gears, we'll get to that after the top of the hour. Switching gears here. So the Republican establishment, one of my favorite topics, I can't help it, has decided, did you read this? That the Trumpinator will not make it through Iowa.
Yeah, I read that.
60% of Republican insiders are claiming that they don't think he's going to make it past the Iowa caucus. Well, I have to laugh when I read some of their comments because I think it's just wishful thinking.
No, they hope he does not make it past Iowa is what it should say.
Well, I was thinking of writing my own little quotes for them. He's kicking our ass, and so we'd like him to go away. He's cleaning our clock, and we don't know what to do about it, so we're just going to say publicly, we don't think he'll last. And then everybody starts to doubt it. Well, when you think about it logically, there was actually only one individual who I believe had it right, and that was Peggy Noonan. And if that name sounds a little bit familiar, she was a speechwriter for President Ronald Reagan. And her comment was that Trump supporters... here's a couple. Let me give you a couple of these quotes first. Republican campaign professionals offered the following comments. No meteor or political candidate burns that brightly or survives very long. Unscripted, he will crash and burn by Thanksgiving. Flavor of the month. Campaign will probably die of a self-inflicted wound. Okay. Usually, candidates sink themselves by saying something crazy. Well, Donald Trump is thriving because he's saying what everybody's thinking, which some in the political establishment think is crazy. But Peggy Noonan, former speechwriter for Ronald Reagan, I think she nailed it. This is what she said. His rise is not due to his supporters' anger at government. It's a gesture of contempt for government, for the men and women in Congress, the White House, and the agencies. Now that, I think, is a great insight. What I'm curious about is I think we should do our own poll. So from now until the end of the show, if you want to call in and tell us, do you think the Trumpinator, Donald Trump, will make it, A, all the way through, or B, halfway through, or C, do you think he crashes and burns before the Iowa caucus? A, B, or C, right? Did you write that down? So we're going to take a poll. A was all the way through. B was halfway through. And then C is he crashes and burns before he even gets to the first primary, the Iowa caucuses. 323-746-TALK. I just want to know what you're thinking. Because I personally, I think the Trumpinator has some staying power. I think he's the kind of guy that isn't going to quit. He doesn't have quit in his nature. I know he tested the waters before, but that's a very different thing than taking a race as far as possible and then dropping it. We'll take your calls right after this break. Hey, you are listening to the Tim Donnelly Show here on the Radio Free California Network. We broadcast live 3 to 6 p.m. every weekday, and we stream at timdonnellyshow.com in case you're out of the listening area. I'm going to take your calls. Welcome to the Tim Donnelly Show. What is your take on the Trumpinator?
Tim?
You think he's in for the long haul?
Yeah, I'm voting for him.
But you think he
There's
stays?
no Republicans I'd vote for.
Do you think he stays all the way through? Does he drop out halfway, or is he not even make it to the first primary?
Yeah, I think he'll go all the way.
All the way.
There isn't a Republican I'd vote for. I'd rather have him run independent.
Okay. What's your name?
Tom from Phelan.
Tom, we will put down your vote. So we've got one who is saying Trump all the way through. You're very confident that you think he could actually win it.
Yeah, all my friends are voting for Trump.
Wow. Well, we just covered half the valley then. Well, thanks for your call, Tom.
All right. Thank you.
And with that, the question is very simple. Do you think Donald Trump makes it A, all the way through to the whatever, that could mean the primary, meaning he makes it into the election and either wins or loses there. If he wins there, then he would go all the way. And Tom is like A+. He's like all the way through to the presidency. All right. Did we even offer that as an option?
No, we just had going to the Iowa.
Yeah, read me the options here again.
Okay, so A, we have,
all the way.
all the way.
Okay, B.
Goes about halfway. Or C, Iowa dead.
dead on the road to Iowa, really. All right, well, 323-746-TALK if you want to get in. That's all we want. We just tell us your name, tell us what your prediction is, because we're going to continue to take your calls on that throughout the show. And meanwhile, we're going to get my friend Karen Veely, publisher at Cal Coast News, on the line. Let me take you through this story. So we have, and if you were listening earlier in the week, we had a tragic story. And 12-year-old girl, her parents are homeless. She has 2 siblings. And CPS engineered a way to take these children away from the parents. This is what happens when the government makes money off of placing kids or adopting kids out. And bottom line is, this girl and her siblings were placed with a family. Everybody thought they were a good family, pillar of the community. Turns out that the father began raping the girl at age 12. After she turned 18, she reported it. She had moved out by this time. And the father is facing, he's being charged with rape, sodomy, and child molestation for a period of 6 years. Okay, this is who the government gave the kids to because the parents were struggling. The parents were homeless. The parents They claim the mother punched the daughter in the face, but she slapped her with an open hand. Which, look, every parent has smacked their kid at some point or another. It's just reality. And I'm not defending it. I'm just saying it is reality. But so to save the child from being slapped by the mother, they placed all the children with a rapist. I mean, where's the logic? Where's the sense? And now we're going to bring Karen Veely on. They may be talking about arresting my friend Karen for telling the truth. Karen, tell me this isn't so.
No, this is so. I received a threatening letter from San Luis Obispo County Council telling me that they were advising me to destroy all documents I had about this case and to refrain from using any of the things that I found in the court documents.
Whoa.
Or I face misdemeanor.
Why? I don't understand. The girl's 18 years old now, right?
The girl's 18 years old. She does have two younger siblings. I think one's 17 and the other one is turning 17 and one is turning 15. I think this month.
But they don't want the story out there because it makes them look bad. It may affect their funding. It may affect how the public views them. But you haven't committed any crimes.
Well, they're claiming that giving out, and there is some rules about using juvenile disclosures from documents, but this is part of the problem. Everything is secret in juvenile court cases. So if the county does make something up or they get false information, there's no discovery for the parents. They don't bring witnesses into the case except for the parents and the children and sometimes the grandparents. So it's a very secretive system. And if someone's made up false allegations, it's almost impossible to get any disclosure and any discovery and to prove you're innocent.
Right. No, I'm well aware of that. You're well aware of that because you've been a target in your county because you
have been a target
you keep
myself.
Exposing corruption. And by the way, that makes you very popular with the people, but not unpopular with the people in power.
Yes. And one of the issues here is a county supervisor's wife was working for a nonprofit in which she regularly called and had homeless children picked up, according to multiple people that she worked with who claimed that she would exaggerate information or call when they shouldn't be called on, and regularly had homeless children taken from their parents.
Wow. I mean, I find it interesting they target those who are homeless. Look, homelessness is a very difficult thing to go through, and but it's generally temporary. Families go through some readjustments. They get back on their feet. And this family, by all accounts, was doing that very thing. I mean, you've got a father who's working. You've got they were reaching out for help to get some resources to be able to get some permanent housing, so that because sometimes it's the catch-22. Nobody wants to employ you if you don't have permanent housing.
Yes. And he did. He came back and he had employment. And since then, I think they've been in the same home now for over 10 years. And they're still married and they're both working.
Right. So let me get back to the cops maybe coming to. I mean, it's almost. We're 45 minutes away from 5 o'clock, so I imagine if they're going to arrest you, they're going to do it before then. So if that happens, make sure that they do it live. But look, I mean, going back to that, I understand about the secrecy and protecting juveniles' information. Okay, we get that. But an 18-year-old accusing a 51-year-old of rape is not a juvenile matter anymore because she's over the age of 18, first of all. It is now a criminal court matter. It's not a family court matter. And there needs to be an investigation. So I'm going to go back to it. You haven't committed any crimes. You are not out there exposing any facts or details about the other two children. You were simply focusing on this girl who has made the charge that she was raped starting at the age of 12, correct?
Yes, and I'm also focusing on, the last story is primarily focusing on allegations that were made by Supervisor Adam Hill's current wife, regarding these children that led to the children being taken, and that is from the juvenile record. And for example, one of the allegations was the parents were asked to please put the child in school and couldn't even get it together enough to enroll her in school, so she had never been in school. Well, the child was 4. She turned 5. She was 5 when this happened, but she was 4 at the beginning of the school year. She had a November birthday, and the parents decided they did not want her starting as a young 4-year-old in kindergarten. But that was used without explaining that she was 4, that they just couldn't get it together and get her in school.
So what you're saying, you have other cases where you're making the point that they look for any excuse they could hang a hat on, even if it was just a thumbtack instead of a,
On this one, they also use false information. The police report clearly says the child was not punched, as they were told by D. Torres. They investigated; it was not found to be. Throughout the court records, it uses the word punch.
So,
and then
hold on. Who is this?
4 days after.
Hold on. Who is this D. Torres? I understand she's the wife of.
D. Torres is the wife of Adam Hill. She was also the manager of the homeless shelter and the one that turned dozens of children over into the hands of child services and had them picked up.
All right. So hold on. What is the benefit to her agency or to the government agency that I assume that's run by the county? What's the benefit to them to have these children taken away from the parents? Do they get a funding source out of that?
Yes, they do, and not for having them taken, but CAPSLO was one of the agencies that Family and Children's Services sent a chunk of money to every year. They were one of the recipients.
What does CAPSLO stand for?
A Community Action Partnership of San Luis Obispo, and they run homeless services in San Luis Obispo County.
Okay. And there's a lot of money at stake, though.
Getting it. Yes, there's millions at stake. There's this year there was $23 million in this Child Protective Services Agency. I think it was around $4 or $5 million was given to outside agencies. A certain $7.5 million was given to parents that have adopted children. But of that money, they get the funding and they keep 40% for an administration fee. So every time they adopt a child out, especially an infant, they receive a check till that child is 18 years old. So there is a great funding source for adopted children. There's money to be made.
They got a lot of reasons, millions of dollars worth of reasons, of which they get 40% to lock you up and shut you down, because what you're doing is you're exposing a really sinister and despicable form of corruption that essentially has put a child in harm's way, and I'm sure there's more than one, but in this case, I mean, this is a really dramatic, onerous, and abuse, an onerous abuse of power. I mean, this is something for which somebody should be up on charges, not just the rapist.
And I agree. And the thing is, if there's no transparency and no one is ever allowed to discuss the facts that the other people at the shelter said these things didn't happen, the police officer said it did not happen, but nevertheless it ends up in court records, and these children are taken from their parents. 2 parents who lost all 3 of their children and have had to live their lives not having their children.
Karen Veely, publisher of Cal Coast News, thank you for coming on with us today. And keep us posted. If you do get arrested, we will maybe do a jailhouse interview with you.
I would love it. I have a number of people that are going to bail me out quickly.
Well, I knew that would be the case. Hey, thanks for coming on. Keep up the good work. Keep exposing this, because this is really important.
Thank you. Okay, bye-bye.
Defending the fundamental freedom of parents to make informed decisions for their own children is a basic human right that should never be infringed. But it was. California's SB 277 denies children access to education and takes away a parent's right to choose. You don't have to be a parent to help, but only you can make a difference. Let's exercise the people's veto and overturn SB 277. To volunteer or donate, go to SB277referendum.com. That's SB277referendum.com. Do it now. Paid for by SB 277 Referendum Committee, FPPC ID number 1378398. You are tuned to the Radio Free California Network as you cruise, well, I can't call it cruising on the freeway today. It's pretty crazy out there. It is hot and humid. No, not global warming, even though 2/3. This one's shocking. And by the way, we're doing a poll. So let me throw that out there. Tell me the deal again here, Noskinator. It's 323-746-TALK. We want your opinion of how far will he go?
So we're actually going to poll people for real, not like these made-up polls where they poll 5 people and turn it into a...
You got a real issue with this poll.
I do.
Because they didn't call you personally.
No, I've never been polled, and they say all of Californians. I'm sorry. I was never asked. I am not included. Their poll is wrong. Okay, so for Donald Trump, do you think he will make it all the way?
That's A.
Halfway?
B.
Or Iowa dead?
C. Dead on the way to Iowa. What do you think? 323-746-TALK. We're going to take you straight on air. So if you call in, be prepared to give your position. And you know what? We may ask you to defend it, or we may ask you to give us your thoughts. But the bottom line is we're trying to find out what you think. Because 60% of GOP insiders, let me tell you who GOP insiders are. They're the ones who want to bring you Jeb Bush. So, of course, what are they going to say? So 60% of them say that Donald Trump is dead on arrival before he even gets to Iowa. So what say you? You think he makes it all the way? And that could either mean the primary or the presidency. Does he go halfway? Or does he not even make it to Iowa? 323-746-TALK. We'll take your calls. So back to this poll. 2/3 of Californians, excluding the Noskinator.
I mean, were you polled?
I was not polled.
Okay.
But see, I don't believe in global warming at all. So I am not one of those who would be fooled by such a ridiculous conclusion. Look, that somehow global warming is responsible for the drought. I think Jerry Brown's responsible for the drought.
Yeah, where's that poll?
If you ask that question, it'd probably be 80%. I mean, he's the one that has refused to do what's necessary. Have some vision. Build the infrastructure. You know, we've had these massive rainfalls, and you know what happens, right? You have a tremendous amount of rain that falls in a short period of time, and then it runs all down the drain. Well, where does it go after it goes down the drain? It goes out to the ocean. So they never even captured it. We've got to get smart about capturing water, and dams would be a damn good start. But this governor that we have, can you imagine him being president?
Never.
Oh my gosh, that would be something. Hey, we're going to take a call here and see what you think about the Trumpinator. Welcome to the Tim Donnelly Show.
Hi, Tim. I enjoy your show. You do a good job.
Thank you. What do you think of Donald Trump? What are his chances? How far does he go?
If he doesn't change his position on illegal immigration, he'll go all the way.
Interesting.
But if he starts to waffle on immigration, he won't make it.
You know, that is I've always believed that. It's part of how I got elected, but I think it's completely counterintuitive to what these Republican insiders think. They think you have to pander, go for amnesty, because that gets you the money in politics. They will line up behind you for days to fill your coffers if you indicate by any stretch that you're in favor of amnesty. But he doesn't need the money.
That's right. And what he's done from the very beginning is he's stated his position. We can't believe the politicians because we gave them the House, we gave them the Senate. They still didn't push back on Obama. And Trump speaks his mind. He's made a couple of flubs, but I'll forgive him for that. But if he doesn't, if he sends the illegals home, if he builds the fence, he'll go all the way to the White House.
All right. What's your first name?
Alan?
Alan, we're going to put you down for all the way. We got 2 for all the way. Thanks for the call.
You're welcome.
Hey,
thanks for the show.
Have a great weekend. Looks like we got another call here. So what do you think? Welcome to the show.
Hey, good afternoon. My name's John. I'm from North Carolina.
Hey, John. Welcome to the Tim Donnelly Show. What's your thoughts on this race?
Well, first I want to thank you both for your service. What you guys do is great, and the young lady for her service in the military. But I agree with the 2 previous callers. As long as they don't waffle on the immigration and the big things, jobs, economy.
So you want him to stand firm,
all the way.
Stand firm all the way. Well, John,
I say he goes
all the way. Thanks for the call. Hey, if you like shooting as much as I do, you've probably been to a lot of ranges. Unless you visited Burro Canyon Shooting Park, you've never seen anything like it. On the way there, you'll find yourself taking pictures as you traverse the majestic Azusa Canyon and wind your way up into the Angeles National Forest. With over 600 acres, including 19 private ranges, there's something for everyone. There's rifle and pistol ranges for beginners, right up to advanced shooters. And there's plenty of spaces to shoot sporting clay. You can make a family day of it, or you can bring a group for team building exercises. Bring a picnic lunch. On the weekends, they provide lunch. And don't worry, they always have ammo in case you forget yours or run out. One thing I can guarantee is that once you visited my friends at Burro Canyon Shooting Park, you'll be hooked and you'll keep coming back. BurroCanyon.com is their website, or call them at 626-910-1344, 626-910-1344. So we're taking our own poll. We're taking a temperature of the ire of the people. We want to know, do you agree with this recent poll that was done of Republican GOP insiders, i.e. political consultants, pundits, etc.? 60% of them say that Donald Trump is dead on arrival before we even get to Iowa. What say you? What do we got so far? We've had, I think we're at 100%.
We have 100% U.S. support towards Donald Trump right now.
For all the way.
Yep.
All the way. But there were some qualifiers. People said that he better not waffle on his stance on illegal immigration.
I don't see him changing his stand on that at all.
Well, it's certainly this is a funny thing about politics. There's always an incredible amount of pressure for you to change your viewpoints or mollify them or nuance them, become reasonable. But see, reasonable is the death of enthusiasm in politics. People want somebody who will fight. They want somebody who will stand up for them and put into words, and hopefully slightly better words than Trump has been using. But bottom line, it doesn't matter. If he had used smoother language, he probably never would have sparked the firestorm that he sparked in the first place.
I read this article a couple days ago, and they were saying, Trump he's being mean. And he came back and he said, they're being mean to me.
Being mean?
Yeah.
It's like politics is a blood sport. If they're not throwing things at you, then you're no threat to the castle. And the harder, the greater the threat you are, the harder they'll work to undermine you and destroy you. And look, they don't know what to do. They can't control the guy because he doesn't need their money and he doesn't need their positions. He doesn't need their endorsements. He's not going around asking other he's not asking, let me say, not say other, but he's not asking politicians for endorsements. And he's not asking donors for money. And so I don't know where these insiders are saying that he's dead before Iowa, because I think, look, the guy's a boxer. He's going to pace himself. And he doesn't mind throwing punches, and he doesn't mind getting hit because he just keeps fighting. So that's the question. And we're going to give you the 3 choices that you have should you choose to call in. The number is 323-746-TALK. And if you're driving, let me spell it out for you so you don't have to sit there and try to read your phone. 323-746-8255. And by the way, you should actually plug in the Tim Donnelly Show into your cell phone. That way it's much easier for you to call. But, all right, Noskinator, give me the 3 choices. We've got A.
All the way.
B.
Halfway.
C.
Iowa dead.
Iowa dead. Dead on arrival to Iowa. And so far, we are 100% of the people are saying, in the Tim Donnelly listening audience, are saying he's going all the way.
Yeah, but see, we can't manipulate our poll like the other polls do. We're not going to say, the Tim Donnelly audience. No, this is the audience. This is the USA.
Well, we did just get a call from North Carolina.
Exactly.
All right, so North Carolina's with us.
East and West Coast.
Are there any other states that would like to weigh in? We'd love to hear from you on a sultry Southern California afternoon. Hey, back to a very serious note. There is a tragic story out of Montana in Lake County, I believe. Is this the right one that I'm looking at?
It was Montana.
No, this is another story.
Oh.
There's too many of these. But there was another killing. Did I send you that, or was I looking at it online? Sorry.
No, you sent it to me. I read it about the family that went to go help the car that was on the side of the road. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is heartbreaking. You've got a family that went to help somebody on the side of the road, Good Samaritans, and how many of them were struck down? The father and the mother were shot in the back, and
they were shot by somebody who's suspected to be in the country illegally. I thought I had that. Wait. I got another stack of stuff here. Hold on. Yeah, here it is. Sorry. That was last week's stack of stuff.
It's Friday.
This was in Montana. Trying to be Good Samaritans cost 2 members of a Montana family their lives, left their daughter wounded. The suspect, 18-year-old Jesus Denise Mendoza, is expected in federal court on Friday. Family was shot when they returned to help Mendoza, whose car had been stopped along the side of the road near the Crow Indian Reservation on Wednesday morning, according to an FBI criminal complaint. The daughter said her mother came to her house and told her there was a guy that needed assistance. The mother, father, and daughter then returned to where Mendoza's car was parked. Mendoza pulled a gun on them, ordered them out of their car. He demanded money, but the family said they didn't have any. The daughter said Mendoza told them to start walking away from the car. She heard a gunshot, turned to see her father lying on the road. She heard another gunshot, heard her mother scream. She was running and didn't look back. As the daughter fled, she felt blood running down her face from a bullet wound. Mendoza has been picked up in Wyoming, but this is why we need Donald Trump to stay in this race, because it's not as if illegals have just started killing people. Illegal aliens commit a lot more crimes than the media would like anyone to believe because it doesn't fit their narrative. Donald Trump has put the spotlight. He's put a microscope on this. Now we're hearing about a lot more stories. And that's one of the reasons why we want to know what you think. And if you're from another state and you want to weigh in, we're doing a nationwide survey. Hey, if they can say that 60% of GOP insiders, what does that really mean?
Yeah, who? They made it that they make it up.
Does that mean you're an elected official? Does that mean you're in the Republican Party? I mean, I'm reluctantly in the Republican Party.
But you weren't polled?
I was not polled.
Again.
But then again, they would like me to leave the Republican Party, which is the main reason why I refuse to. But this story and the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds like it, for a family to go out of their way to help someone, and for that someone to be a ruthless, cold... How do you shoot somebody who's trying to help you?
Because they have nothing to lose. He has nothing to lose. He was trying to steal their money, their car, up in Montana.
Yeah, but... okay, so he steals their car. Why does he have to kill him?
Well, keep reading. It tells why he said he shot them. This is the real game changer right here.
He shot the victims because he was getting tired of waiting around and because the daughter laughed at him.
Yeah.
You got to be effing kidding me.
No, I didn't type that in there. That was there.
Well, I'm just... This is... It's hard to keep count of how many times are we going to put up with this?
But also, did we get that off of Breitbart?
This is I can't tell. It doesn't really say.
Well, either way, it wasn't like a top news headline, on mainstream things.
Well,
because they're on other topics now.
Yeah, they're busy ignoring the Planned Parenthood scandal. They're busy talking about lions and tigers and bears and anything other than and of course handicapping Donald Trump. But I want to go back to it. I want to see. We're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, I want to take your calls, and I want to hear what you think of Donald Trump's chances. I can tell you what, every time one of these horrific tragedies happens, this solidifies Donald Trump's base, because it's people who are pissed off. They're going to say it like it is, and they don't care about political parties or who they offend. So what do you think? Does he go all the way, halfway, or does he dead on arrival in Iowa? 323-746-TALK. We'll take your calls when we come back. Defending the fundamental freedom of parents to make informed decisions for their own children is a basic human right that should never be infringed. But it was. California's SB 277 denies children access to education and takes away a parent's right to choose. You don't have to be a parent to help, but only you can make a difference. Let's exercise the people's veto and overturn SB 277. To volunteer or donate, go to SB277referendum.com. That's SB277referendum.com. Do it now. Paid for by SB 277 Referendum Committee, FPPC ID number 1378398. You are tuned to the Radio Free California Network, and we're taking a poll. 323-746-TALK is the number. We're talking Trump, yes, we are, because the media is talking trash about Trump, and so is the GOP insider base, whatever that is. I can't even imagine there's that many people in that so-called base, given that the Republican Party has been shrinking, at least in California, for years, and is continuing to shrink. By the way, and here's our poll. So if you want to call in, it's 323-746-TALK. We want to know, what do you think? Because 60% of GOP insiders have said Trump is dead on arrival, never makes it to Iowa. Iowa being the Iowa caucuses are essentially the first primary. We've asked, A, does he go all the way? B, does he go halfway? Or C, does he never make it to Iowa? Well, we'll see what you think. 323-746-TALK. You do have to, when you call in, you gotta stay on there for at least 30 seconds so we can pick you up. All right. Hey, you are live on air. What is your take on Trump?
Hi, Tim. This is Wayne from Oak Hills. I think he's going to go more than halfway. All the way, I don't know. He's saying everything that all the other Republicrats aren't saying. He's saying what the people want to hear and do. But I think he's going to make it past Iowa for sure, and more than halfway. I think he'll be one of the final few candidates left.
It's going to be very interesting because, I don't know if you heard the news, but he just came out with a book. I just had it up here. Something like Trump Talks Tough. So
I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, but he's rolling he's rolling out everything at just the right time.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I really thought when he came out it would light a fire under all the other Republicans' backsides and get them to do it, but they won't get off that tightrope between one side or the other. They won't make a commitment to anything, and Trump has nothing to fear.
Yeah,
I think it's very exciting.
Yeah, here it is. His book is called Time to Get Tough. Okay. Trump's blockbuster policy manifesto. Hey, but you got to do stuff like that when you're running for president. You've got to lay out some vision. And now, instead of them calling him names and dredging up, I don't know, whatever, sound bites from a month and a half ago, right? Seems like a lifetime in politics. Now they're going to be talking about his ideas. And I think nobody else is getting this kind of coverage for their ideas.
No, and he's getting coverage on all the mainstream media just because he's outspoken and who he is. So he's getting publicity, which the other candidates aren't.
Yeah, and I had an opportunity to hear him in person. And I'm going to tell you, when you get past all the bluster and the headlines, this is a man who is very serious about getting America back on a winning track. And
I think so too.
So I you know what? We're going to put another. So are you going down as B halfway, or are you A all the way?
Halfway. I'd say all the way. I right now, if I had to guess, I would say all the way.
All right. Well, we're still at 100%. All right. Well, Wayne, thanks for the call.
Thank you for taking my call, Tim.
You got it. So 323-746-TALK is the number. We just want to know what you think, because I'm sick and tired of polls. I don't know about you, but I really put a lot of stock in what the average person thinks. And by the way, also, if you got polled, let us know, because the Noskinator is getting really upset that no one polls her, especially about global warming.
And I think I fit into a lot of these categories, where I could be, but maybe that's why they don't want me polled. I'm a veteran, 29, female, single, not married.
Whoa.
Blah, blah, blah.
This is not a dating service. This is not a dating service.
They don't like any of those.
Yeah, now there's a bunch of people calling in looking for your number. All right, we're going to burn through this here real quick. Give us your take. You are live on air.
Yeah, I absolutely think Trump's going to, make it pretty far. I think what makes him stand out from the rest is that, other than being, multi-billionaire, the guy, speaks his mind. I think he says, exactly what he feels. And the American people are just tired of liars. They're tired of the front that gets put up to get them in the White House. And then once they're in the White House, they kind of forget what, they were fighting for, and the reason why the American people put him there in the first place. And I think Trump has it together. He's a businessman. He's got a drive. Obviously, he's successful. I think, there's trial and error in every person. But I think with Trump, I think he gets it. He's got some wisdom. And
we're putting you down as an A all the way?
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks for the call.
Thanks.
We'll take more of your calls when we get back. If you've been listening long to the Tim Donnelly Show, you know that we talk constantly about defending freedom and about defending our natural inalienable rights. The Firearms Policy Coalition is a partner of the Tim Donnelly Show. But more than that, they're on the front lines every day in Sacramento and all across the state, in the courts, defending your Second Amendment right. That is a natural right that the government merely acknowledged in the Second Amendment. If you value your freedom, then you need to join Firearms Policy Coalition. Become a member. I'm a member, and I'm happy to support an organization that is doing such an incredible job. Go to joinfpc.org. The Tim Donnelly Show sent you. Or go to timdonnellyshow.com and click on the FPC link to make it easy. But whatever you do, join today. FPC.org. Hey, it's 5 o'clock somewhere. It's 5 o'clock here in sunny, sweltering Southern California. I love watching the thunderheads go sailing by and occasionally dropping a tremendous amount of rain. We're going to go to the phones because we're doing a poll. 323-746-TALK. If you want to get in on it, we will take your calls live on air. We just want to know, what do you think? Donald Trump, does he go A, all the way, or B? Yeah, you got to turn your mic on. Halfway, or C, dies on the road to Iowa. What say you? Welcome to the Tim Donnelly Show.
Hi, Tim.
How are you? What do you think?
Good. I think he goes all the way because he doesn't appear to me to be a guy that's going to waste his money.
That's an interesting take. Nobody said that so far.
And he said he would appoint Trey Gowdy as Attorney General. I like that.
Yeah. He's very strategic in the way that he is building his support by naming names, by establishing policies. Have you seen that he's got this new book out?
I just heard about it on your show just a little bit ago.
See, we're breaking news right here. So, all right, I got to ask the Noskinator, what read us the results so far?
100% United States support. We have our entire poll is supporting Trump.
We can't find anybody who even thinks he's only going to go halfway. I find that fascinating. Now, what is the biggest issue for you with the Trumpinator? What got your attention?
Well, he's talking about the things that need to be talked about, and I like to see him take it one step further and say he's going to appoint a Hoover Commission, start investigating some of these criminal elite we have.
That is an excellent suggestion, because there's a whole lot of corruption going on in both parties with people who've been in power, and we haven't had anyone taken down or taken out by a real investigation in a long, long time, because they always do a fake investigation, pretend it's real, so they can go right back to doing what they were doing.
That's it. That's all we get. Run around.
Yep. Well, thanks for the call. We got another vote for all the way. Keep listening, because we're going to announce the final results just before 6 o'clock, in case you haven't been listening the whole time.
All right, Tim. Thanks.
You got it. So 323-746-TALK. This is a very scientific poll, and it's very simple. We just want to know, what do you think? We know that 60% of the GOP insiders think, no, I don't want to say they think, because we don't know if they think that or not. They're desperately hoping that he crashes and burns before Iowa. Because, look, it's kind of like, you've seen Rodney Dangerfield in the movie, right? I mean, he's the guy you don't want in your country club.
Right. This is exactly the thing I was just going to bring up.
Yep. So they don't want him in the country club. He stinks up the joint.
Yeah, they know he's going to come in and blow all the doors open, and they're freaking out.
He's going to break things. He's going to be looking for the gopher and shooting up the place, while all of them are just talking and pontificating. But we talk to you, so we're going to take another call here and see what you think. What is your assessment of how far does he go? You're live on air.
Are you talking to me?
Yep. What do you think?
Oh, well, I think he's going to go all the way. I want him as president.
Man, we just can't get anybody who thinks anything other than all the way. I'm fascinated. Where are you calling from?
Lucerne Valley.
Lucerne Valley. All right. Put down another one all the way for the Trumpinator. We're going to take another call here. Thanks for your call. Let's see. We got.
Hello.
Welcome to the Tim Donnelly Show. What's your take on the Trump?
Well, I would like him to go all the way. He's obviously qualified as far as the Constitution is concerned, and he's wonderful at taking the lamestream press and making sure they don't set up straw arguments.
He kind of arm wrestles them to the ground, doesn't he?
Yes.
And
he keeps them on task.
And he doesn't take any crap. So where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Barstow.
Nice, from Barstow. Okay, so we got another all the way, and you mean all the way?
Yes, I mean they're going to call him the same thing they called Ronald Reagan. You know, at first he was an actor. How can an actor possibly be a president? Then he was a cowboy, and he'd bring us into a war. And guess what? He was probably the best president we've had this last century.
Yeah, and he used peace through strength as a mantra, so that we didn't have to go to war all the time. And you know, that's an important. You raise a great point there. And see, the fact that you can visualize him as president, that says a lot. That says a lot.
Oh, I can see him as a president.
Yeah,
I can see him as a president. Yeah, sure.
All right. Well, thanks for your call and thanks for your vote.
You're welcome, sir.
All right, so 323-746-TALK if you want to get in on it, because this is a very scientific poll. And the Noskinator, you got to give me the results again, because I'm having trouble believing this. Do we have no doubters? Are there no doubting Thomases out there?
We have no doubters so far.
We're 100% all the way.
100% U.S. love for Donald Trump.
Wow. The man who keeps on ticking, and doesn't really matter what they say about him. But, if you go and look online for news, which is where most of us get our news, there's no shortage of attack pieces. There's no shortage of hit pieces on Donald Trump. I mean, it's pretty much all out hate from the media. Here's a CNN article. They got to get attention. Donald Trump's Achilles heel.
Achilles heel?
His Achilles heel, meaning his weakness. Well, all right. I get it. They got to come up with something to try to take him down. But we're just going to keep taking your calls. Hey, welcome to the Tim Donnelly Show. What do you think about the Trump?
Hopefully all the way.
Wow.
I think he's so refreshing. I love him, and I hope he can take it all the way. Get rid of some of those politicians that have been in forever.
Yeah. Hey, I think you're saying something that a lot of people feel, which is a big part of his appeal is that he is not a politician and he doesn't talk like one.
He isn't, and he doesn't talk like one. He doesn't act like one. And he's not part of the old boys club.
Now, where are you calling from?
Apple Valley.
Apple Valley. So I think that's our first call from Apple Valley today, and you're putting down an A for all the way.
All the way.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you for your call. So I don't know. I just I'm gonna go back. You got to let me know if another call comes in, because I'm looking at this article online here about the Achilles heel that CNN has uncovered. I mean, okay, so what are they going to say about him, right? That he's brash. He's probably had some business dealings that haven't gone the way. He's probably been sued by a bunch of people. That wouldn't surprise me in the least. And I
actually have a confession.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to confess on air.
Uh-oh.
So remember the first day that there was a headline about Donald Trump, and then the video, and I remember I was like, oh, that was so ignorant for him to say. Well, now I love, and I'm looking back to what I was saying. It was just the words that he used, but now I'm loving that. I love that he's not talking, above everyone. He's speaking our language.
Are you trying to get in on this poll?
Oh, you can write me down. I know my first initial's B, but I want an A. All the way.
I don't know. Do you agree with the Noskinator? Do you think he's going all the way? 323-746-TALK. We are going to take a quick break. When we get back, we'll take more of your calls, and we'll explore more of how the media is trying to take him down. Look, it's Friday afternoon. It's a gorgeous, sweltering Southern California weekend upon us. So whatever you do, don't touch that dial. Defending the fundamental freedom of parents to make informed decisions for their own children is a basic human right that should never be infringed. But it was. California's SB 277 denies children access to education and takes away a parent's right to choose. You don't have to be a parent to help, but only you can make a difference. Let's exercise the people's veto and overturn SB 277. To volunteer or donate, go to SB277referendum.com. That's SB277referendum.com. Do it now. Paid for by SB 277 Referendum Committee, FPPC ID number 1378398.
I've seen for myself, there's no end to grief. That's how I know.
We're taking your calls at 323-746-TALK. So if you want to get out on the poll, you don't have much time left. It's a real simple poll. It's a Friday poll. A is all the way, B,
halfway,
and C, dead on arrival in Iowa. Hey, welcome to the Tim Donnelly Show. What is your take?
A.
All the way. Really?
All the way. And I'd like to see Trump running with Carla Farina with a second mate. Boy, that'd be a great show.
Very interesting.
Yeah, two CEOs running this country. Get us right back on the ball.
Hey, you know what? We're going to send a clip of this to the Trump campaign. Let them know what you guys are thinking, because I think there's some great ideas been laid out here. That's a good. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Oak Hills.
All right. Well, you have a great weekend, and thanks for calling in.
I love your show. It's great. I listen to it every day.
Oh, thank you very much. We appreciate that.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye now. All right. We're going to just continue to take calls. This is a poll. Scientific. We're 100%. What say you about the Trumpinator? You're live on air.
Yeah. This is Albert from Apple Valley.
Hey, Albert. How are you?
All right. This is about Trump.
Yep.
He may be brash, but his speeches aren't polished, so he's going to make some boo-boos, but he is speaking what he feels, and that's something we don't hear very often.
Well, so what do you think, A, B, or C?
All the way.
We can't get anybody to think he's only going halfway. Albert?
I just hope they don't shoot him.
Yeah.
I hope they don't shoot him.
I'm right there with you. Thank you for your call.
Yeah.
All right. What is your take on the Trumpinator?
Yeah, I think, I think if he joins forces, maybe midway through the campaign, with like one of the previous callers said, either Carly Fiorina or Ted Cruz or Rand Paul, something that kind of gives him a little bit more balance. If he does that, I think he can make it all.
All right. Well, we're allowing qualified A's, so we'll put you down as an A all the way?
With the qualification, yeah.
With your qualification. Well, hey, it's a very scientific poll here. Where are you calling from?
Yeah, because people who take pot, either they're worried that he might be too unconstrained, even he might not even be constrained.
I think we're having a little.
Balance them out that way.
Yeah, I think we're having a little trouble with your signal, but yeah, we lost him. I was curious where he's calling from, but also would love to know, because people are now bringing up running mates. So, of course, this makes it interesting. And we did not qualify this poll to handicap running mates, but it does raise an interesting point, because when people see someone as presidential, first of all, that's huge. Because I don't hear people burning up the phone lines on talk radio. They're certainly not doing it here, and there's no other show, I believe, within your listening area worth listening to at this time. They're not burning up the phone lines saying, hey, we'd like anyone else. And if you can't picture your guy or your gal in there fighting and being the president, if you don't have that level of excitement now, you're probably never going to get it. So, once again, we'll continue our poll, 323-746-TALK. We've got a couple minutes before the break, so if you want to get a call in, if you want to get your vote in before this thing is over, what do you think on Donald Trump? We know what the media thinks. CNN is calling his Achilles heel women, saying that they always put up these polls. If Donald Trump is running, and let's say they put up a poll and they find out that Donald Trump is fairly close or even or beating Hillary Clinton, you know what they do? They pull out details, what are called crosstabs, and this is all political insider stuff, but basically it's how you game the system so that you get the result you want, the result that fits your narrative. And so they pull out the crosstabs on women And they claim that he is not strong among women. He's certainly strong among women in our poll. Hey, welcome to the Tim Donnelly Show. What is your take on the Trump?
Yes, hello?
Yes, what is your take on the Trump?
Hey, I'm Robert, and I think he's going all the way.
All the way, Robert. Really? Now, why do you think that?
I'm a millennial. I have never voted before.
Whoa.
I have never bothered because they are all the same. They're all from the same library, same stack of books. He's brand new.
Nice. I like that. I like that, Robert, and I'm glad that you're listening to our show. How long have you been a listener?
Maybe about a year.
All right. Well, thanks for checking in with us.
All right. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you got it. All the way. We got another. What are we at now?
That puts us at 13.
13. All right, 13.
A's.
All right. What is your take? You're live on air.
Yeah, hey, this is Lance. Man, Donnelly is like the new John Wayne of this political system we got going on. Time to clean the rodeo out, my brother. I think he's going all the way.
The new John Wayne. I like that. Now, there's a sound bite right there. Now, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Atlanta right now.
All right. Well, we're going to put you down for an A. We're up to how many?
14.
14
A's.
going all the way. What do you like most about him? Where do you see him excelling?
The confidence of a true American on display for the world to see, my brother. I mean, we got too many people who stick their fingers in the wind. And, they wet their little finger, they stick it in the wind. Oh, I think I'm going to vote this way this time, and next week something else. I think he's got convictions, and he'll stand true to his calling, I believe.
Nice. Well, thank you for calling, and thanks for your vote.
My pleasure, Tim. Rock on, brother.
You got it. All right, we're going to get one more call before we go to the break here. Welcome to the Tim Donnelly Show. What is your take?
All the way A plus.
All the way A plus.
Woo! That's
you're calling it. You're pointing to the.
He is over the top.
This
man tells truth. He says it with dignity. I don't care about some of the words he uses. He may not phrase things so politically correct, but I think politically correct is what has gotten us into this mess.
So you are pointing to the outfield, and you are calling a home run all the way to the presidency.
Yep, let's give him 8. 8 years.
Well, the
man knows how to work. He knows how to put people to work. He knows how to bring pride back into what you do, and people really need their dignity back.
I think that is a very interesting point that you make. And where are you calling from?
Victorville.
Well, so far it is 100% with a little bit of qualification, which we might call some A minuses, and then you're A plus. I think it evens out. Thank you for your call.
You're very welcome. Thank you for being there.
You got it. All right, I'm going to try to sneak in one more.
We have 30 seconds. We can do it.
You got 30 seconds. Give me your take on the Trumpinator.
He's not owned by anyone. It's his own money. Nobody can go and buy him. They can't buy his pro, his con. The only person he owes anything to is the man upstairs. 5A plus, 100%.
Wow. Man, he's going to be excited when he hears this. Thanks for your call.
I hope so.
Where are you calling from?
Thanks. Palmdale.
Palmdale, nice. Thanks for listening.
Thank you.
If you've been listening long to the Tim Donnelly Show, you know that we talk constantly about defending freedom and about defending our natural inalienable rights. The Firearms Policy Coalition is a partner of the Tim Donnelly Show. But more than that, they're on the front lines every day in Sacramento and all across the state, in the courts, defending your Second Amendment right, that is a natural right that the government merely acknowledged in the Second Amendment. If you value your freedom, then you need to join Firearms Policy Coalition. Become a member. I'm a member, and I'm happy to support an organization that is doing such an incredible job. Go to joinfpc.org. The Tim Donnelly Show sent you. Or go to timdonnellyshow.com and click on the FPC link to make it easy. But whatever you do, join today. FPC.org.
Like a star that can wait for a night. I hate to think I've been blinded, baby. What can I see tonight?
It is a gorgeous, sunny, sweltering Southern California afternoon. Perfect temperature to take the temperature of the electorate. And we are conducting an extremely scientific poll. If you believe the numbers about global warming, you're going to love this poll.
We're doing it right.
We're just talking to you. We want to know what you think. We already know what CNN thinks. We know what the media thinks of Donald Trump. We know the GOP insiders, the elected officials, the party hacks. They hate him. They can't. Why? Because they can't control him. And because he's embarrassing them. I mean, the guy's running laps around them. And I just figured we'd go to you. And so we've conducted this extremely scientific poll, and the Noskinator and I are tallying it. If you would give us the tally, please, and then we'll lay out what the questions are.
17.
17 what?
A's. All the way.
Okay.
Oh,
here's
probably in number 18.
Here is the question. And I'm going to lay it out for you so that you can think about it long and hard. 323-746-TALK is the number. And what are your options? A?
All the way.
B?
Halfway.
And C?
What are you saying? I'm saying Iowa dead.
Yeah. Dead on the way to Iowa. What do you think about the Trumpinator's chances? A, B, or C?
Way, and I loved it from the second that he got into the fray, because he's taking all of these professional politicians and holding their feet to the fire, and just watching them squirm trying to deal with the questions that he's throwing at them is worth the entertainment all on its own. But I think because of his professional status, and like the other lady said, he can't be bought. What's he going to do with more money? So he can't be bought. He's going to do, and I think he has this country's best interest at heart. Where half these politicians, I think they have their own interest at heart, and if America comes second, so what?
I think that's a very astute observation, and one we hadn't heard. But look, if that's what's coming through, I don't see how the guy goes halfway. So we're putting you down for all the way.
You got it.
All right. Thanks for the call.
Have a great day, Tim.
Have a great weekend.
Bye.
We're taking your calls. What do you think? What's your take on the Trump?
I think, for one thing, anybody who knows business, and he's not an idiot in business, would not let go of tens of millions of dollars worth of contracts unless he meant to go all the way.
Well, now let's go back to those contracts, because a lot of that stuff, he came away with the upper hand, by the way. At least,
I know he did.
At least
but they thought they were going to get one over on him, and he turned the tables on them.
And to me, that's a qualification for somebody who could negotiate on behalf of this country, because I think he would put our interest first, which is exactly what you should do when you are the head of a company or a country.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, because I have a small business, and actually I know you from the past out when we had the water fiasco out in Lucerne Valley. Back when they impounded all the water trucks.
Oh, yeah.
I'm one of the last water haulers left in business, and actually I'm out delivering water right now.
Where are you driving? What road are you on?
I'm out by the airport in Apple Valley.
Okay, thank God you're not out on the 15 or coming up the pass, which is a nightmare right now. And, I don't know how much longer that's going to last, but hopefully it's going to be great when it's done, right?
Yeah, but I think it's ridiculous, just like back then when the government stepped in to supposedly try to save us from the harmful water haulers, and then they ended up spending almost $100,000, bragged about it in the paper, and then they didn't even come out with any solutions on anything, and they put everybody out of business when people on hauled water use less water than anybody.
Well, our government is expert here in California at putting small business owners out of business. By the way, kudos to you for surviving. And
and what was the funny thing is when they impounded all the trucks, they didn't get ours, and when they called us asking to come out to inspect the vehicle, more or less to impound it, my wife told them, "You have my P.O. box. If you want to contact me, write me a letter."
Smart woman. Well, we're putting you down for an A, going all the way. Be careful out there.
Okay, thanks. Bye.
Okay, we're going to pick up another vote here. What's the tally up to, Noskinator?
19.
19. What do we got here? A, B, or C? What do you think of the Trump?
I say all the way and beyond the horizon. I am completely behind Trump. I'm sick of wussy Republicans. I'm sick of people who are going to say they're going to do something and they never intended to. And I'm a first generation. My mom is from Central America. I'm 20 years old. I would never have voted. I would never have even bothered. I wouldn't have cared. I'm for Trump all the way. God bless him.
Wow. Now, that's fascinating. So you're 20 years old, so you're the second millennial that has identified themselves, and the Trump has got your attention. Nobody's even talking about that in the media, by the way.
Precisely. That's why I love him. The left-wing mass media hates him. He's got my attention.
Fascinating. Well, and where are you calling from?
Lancaster, California.
Lancaster. All right. So we got Lancaster in. We got Palmdale. We got Victorville. Apple Valley weighed in.
North Carolina.
We haven't heard from any other states, though. That's a little bit disappointing in this nationwide poll. But thank you for your call, and thank you for listening.
Thank you. God bless.
God bless you. I think I personally love hearing from the people on Trump, because I'm so sick and tired of everybody telling us that we've got to settle for some kind of a sycophant that's just going to kiss the GOP's. Remember how you were asking me about the GOP the other day?
Yeah, because my non-political self.
Your political savvy.
I didn't even know what the GOP meant.
Yeah, needed a little bit of work. All right, so their symbol is the elephant.
Oh.
I think they've got the wrong symbol.
I think they have the wrong symbol.
I think it should be the dinosaur. I mean, come on. And who
or
is
a snake?
But here's the funny thing. When you're in politics, everything is about demographics if you're a political consultant, because you make assumptions about people because of their skin color, where they come from, their income, all kinds of other things. Whether or not their family had been Republicans or Democrats before, all that stuff. We're hearing from women, we're hearing from men, we're hearing from millennials. Everyone we're hearing from so far likes Trump because he is not like the GOP. They like Trump because he's touched some raw nerve, and if he's going to have trouble with Hispanics, somebody needs to explain that to our last caller, who came here from Central America.
And Robert, who called in.
And Robert from Hemet, by the way. I don't think he's weighed in this time around, but hopefully he'll call back in. But look, we're fascinated. We want to hear what you think. 323-746-TALK. We've still got a couple minutes before we have to take a break. We'd love to complete this poll in an extraordinarily scientific way. But we can't do that without your call, and we want to know. Let's give him the terms. A, he goes
all the way.
B,
halfway,
and then C, dead on arrival in Iowa. according to the GOP insiders. But what say you? You're on the air.
I believe he will go all the way. I'm voting for an A. I'm from Garden City, Kansas, and I am a baby boomer.
Nice. So he's getting... Wait a minute. CNN said you're not voting for him.
Oh, really? Well, I am.
Well, you got to explain that to us so we can explain it to CNN. What is it about the Trumpinator that you like?
I'm just exactly like everybody else that's been talking on this show. I'm sick and tired of people making promises and doing nothing, and I believe that he's got the ability to do what he says because he can't be bought.
Can't be bought. We keep hearing that over and over again. Well, thank you for listening from, you said, Kansas?
Garden City, Kansas, but I'm stuck on the 15 going south.
Well, hold on. I'm gonna do something for you. I'm gonna say something. Tell me your name. First name.
Nita Sheldon.
Nita. Nita.
Mm-hmm.
Nita, I feel your pain.
Yeah, I'm trying to get to LA to have a good time with my kids.
Well, you know what? You're going to have to be a little bit patient there. I can tell you one thing. It's probably not going to help you now, but there is a road you can turn off if you haven't passed it already.
Well, she's going south.
Yeah, if you're going south.
I'm going south.
Yeah, she can't do that.
Oh, that's too bad.
It's only if she's coming north.
There's a couple little tricks you can maneuver that thing, but you kind of had to turn off before where you are now. But anyway, just hang in there and keep listening. Okay. And when you go home to Garden City, Kansas, you can listen to us online. It's TimDonnellyShow.com. We stream live 3 to 6 every day. And we'd love to hear from you after you get back home.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Have a safe drive.
Bye-bye.
See, so now we have 3 states. We've had California. We've had North Carolina. I can't believe we're not getting any calls from Montana or
North Dakota.
Or, how about some Texas or Arizona? Come on, people. Don't you guys like the Trumpinator? So we're going to take a quick break. And when we get back, we're going to get the final few votes. So get ready to dial as soon as you hear us come back in, and we'll just go rapid fire through your calls. 323-746-TALK. Plug that into your phone, and we'll be right back after these messages. Defending the fundamental freedom of parents to make informed decisions for their own children is a basic human right that should never be infringed. But it was. California's SB 277 denies children access to education and takes away a parent's right to choose. You don't have to be a parent to help, but only you can make a difference. Let's exercise the people's veto and overturn SB 277. To volunteer or donate, go to SB277referendum.com. That's SB277referendum.com. Do it now. Paid for by SB 277 Referendum Committee, FPPC ID number 1378398. Hey, this is your last chance. You are listening. This is your last chance. You're listening to the Tim Donnelly Show on the Radio Free California Network. We are live 3 to 6 p.m. every weekday. And we stream live at TimDonnellyShow.com. And right now, we're doing a highly scientific poll on the Trumpinator. What is your take on the Trump? A, B, or C?
A.
A. All the way.
Yes.
You think he can do it?
All the way. A plus, yes, with God's help. And the man has maybe he was a liberal time ago, but we all have a chance to come back. And he has convictions, and you can see them in his sincere talk. Yes.
And what is it?
Definitely goes all the way.
What is it that has struck you about him?
Honesty, promptu.
Honesty.
Yeah.
He's authentic.
Promptu. Yeah. Yes. He doesn't have a teleprompter or read speeches.
No, he doesn't
very
have a
real.
teleprompter. That's for sure.
Amen.
So where are you calling from?
There's a little community in the desert called Mojave.
Nice. I just drove through there the other day on my way up north last Friday night, and I was going to stop and get a cheeseburger, but I resisted the temptation.
Yes, do that. There's a lot of beautiful places you can eat at. Oh, I'm from Guatemala. I've been here 35 years, and I'm a citizen now.
Well, I'm sure that Donald Trump would be happy to know he has your support. I find it fascinating. The media keeps saying that he's alienating people who are of Hispanic heritage, but we, in our scientific poll, have had multiple callers who have so identified. So
No, but yes, by all means.
So you are all the way for Donald Trump.
Yes, and God bless him.
God bless him and God bless you. What's your first name?
Lynn.
Lynn.
And God bless you too.
Thank you. Thank you for your call and thank you for listening.
Have a good day. Bye-bye.
You know, it's funny how truth is stranger than fiction. The man that the media hates, the people love. So we are literally moments away from announcing the scientific results of the American poll, the poll of the American people on the Trumpinator.
You know what? This poll is more legit than probably any poll that's been put out.
Well, hey, we're just asking for your opinion, and people can call in and say whatever they want. Nobody has called in to trash him. Nobody has called in to suggest any other candidates. Now, a number of people have made qualifications. They'd like to see him pick either Carly Fiorina, Ted Cruz, or Rand Paul as running mates. And, you know, that one guy got cut off, and I wish, and he actually had I think it was a Washington, D.C. Prefix or Virginia, and I wanted to get his take on, in particular, why he had selected those individuals to be the running mate, because I think it bespeaks something even deeper that people are feeling, which is they want somebody with a certain amount of expertise. They certainly like Carly and Donald because of their business background, and they're sick and tired of politicians who pander. So if you want to get in, we literally, give me a time clock here.
We have exactly 2 minutes left.
2 minutes. So you got to go. It's 323-746-TALK. A, B, or C. Is Donald going A, all the way? B, yeah, that was a cue for you.
Oh, B, halfway.
Or C, dead on arrival in Iowa, as the GOP insiders have predicted. 60% of them, well, 100% of you so far have said A all the way. We've got one more caller's going to get in under the wire. What say you on Donald Trump?
Hello?
Yes, you are live on air. What do you say?
A all the way.
A all the way. Wow, so enthusiastic.
Yes, I totally agree with what you just said. I am tired of the pandering. I feel like no one owns him. He's honest anyway, but I feel like that's an extra bonus. His business sense and his honesty are refreshing.
Nice. And where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Victorville, California.
Nice. Well, thank you for your call. We are out of time. You are the final vote. And we're going to tally it up. Ding, 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 ding. What do we got?
We have 24.
24
A's.
A going all the way. And you were the final one.
Awesome.
Thank you for your vote, and thanks for listening.
You're welcome. Thank you, guys. Have a good weekend.
Hey, you know what? We're out of time here, but I just want to say I don't do this alone. And I am blessed to have a wife who lets me, an amazing producer, Bethany Nosko, the Noskonator. Give yourself a round of applause. Cassie Cassidy, the intrepid guest booker. Sean McNeil, genius when it comes to anything technological. All of our sponsors and you. Without you, we don't have a show. Same time, 3 to 6 p.m. every weekday. God bless you and Godspeed. Tim Donnelly Show out.